This screencast demonstrates how to access the Federal Register at FDsys and FederalRegister.gov. We'll start here at the FDsys homepage, and there are three ways to access Federal Register content here from FDsys. First is by browsing. And the GPO is making access to the Federal Register very easy by adding it to the Browse menu on the right side of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click through to the Federal Register. And from here I can browse issues of the Federal Register by opening these menus and selecting individual issues by year, month, and day. Okay. And in addition to browsing, I can retrieve an issue of the Federal Register by its citation. So if I go back to the Federal Register at the FDsys homepage, click on Retrieve by Citation to the right of the search bar. I'll choose Federal Register from this list of collections. And what I need here, in addition to identifying the collection, is the volume number and the page number, and this will take me directly to that document at that page. I'm going to go back to the FDsys homepage and look at one more way to find the Federal Register. So in addition to browsing and retrieving by citation, we can also conduct a search. So to the right of the search bar here, I'm going to choose Advanced Search. I can limit my search by date. I can choose my collection. I'm looking for Federal Register and add that to my search. And I'm going to look for the phrase Clean Air Act across the Federal Register. Okay, so I have an enormous number of results, over 20,000. So what we have to do here is use the facets on the left side to limit our results. I can first do that by date. So I can go ahead and choose just 2012. I can choose the organization if I want information published in the Federal Register by the EPA. And I can identify whether I'm looking for rules and regulations, proposed rules, notices, etc. So I can go from a very large number to something more manageable quickly using the facets on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is accessing the Federal Register via FDsys. Let's switch over to FederalRegister.gov to have a look how we access the same publication in a different way. Okay, so this is FederalRegister.gov. FederalRegister.gov is an incredibly easy to use site that makes the Federal Register available to the public in multiple formats. So here you can browse content by agency, by topic area, and individual issues by date. In addition to browsing, there's also a very user-friendly advanced search tool. So we'll start from the home page with an example about browsing. And if I expand the browse options at the very top of this window, I can see right away that I can browse by agency, topic, date, etc. So I'm going to try agency, and I'm going to go ahead to the EPA. And I'm directed to a page with basic information about the EPA, forthcoming documents in the register, the most recent significant regulations, articles, information about open comment periods, and a search function here for searching only content from the EPA. So there are three additional features on this page worth noting. First, I'm going to point out the subscriptions options on the top right-hand corner. You can use RSS or email subscription to keep up to date on this agency's activities. So this is an excellent way to use the Federal Register as a current awareness tool. Second, for each item featured on this page, there's an icon indicating the type of content. So whether it's a regulation, a proposed regulation, or a notice. And when I click on a regulation, I'm just going to scroll down a bit. Under the significant documents, I'm going to go ahead and choose a regulation. And on this page, this is organized in a very user-friendly way. On the right-hand side, I have really important document details. I know which agency this comes from, I know the action that's being taken, I have the summary, I have the dates, and all of this is reproduced in a really easy to read HTML format. But the last important detail that I'll point out on this page is that as a reminder that this content produced here in HTML is not the official version of the Federal Register. It has been reproduced in this way for ease of use, but when citing to the publication, you have to follow the links to the official PDF version from the government printing office. This is the document to use for your citation. So either here on the left, you want to view the official content, or also a link to the same place up here on the right for the printed version. And this takes you back to FDsys actually, and you have the official version of the Federal Register with that GPO seal up in the top left-hand corner. So while it's very easy to use FederalRegister.gov, and it's a great place to start, before you formulate your citation, you must consult the printed version and the official version. Okay. So in addition to browsing by agency and by topic, which is a really effective way to use this site because of the way it's structured, we can also search here. So I'm going to scroll back to the top and open the search menu and use the advanced document search. So we have quite a lot of options, but I'm going to use Clean Air Act as my phrase again. And you can see this counter to the right of the search box keeping track of how many results will be in your result set. That's incredibly useful as you make your selections. It can take you from 20,000 to a couple hundred and keep on top of what that will look like, so you continue to make selections to get something usable in the end. So I'm going to search for Clean Air Act. I'm going to limit my publication date to just the preceding year. And again, I'm going to limit to agency. Oops. Okay. I'm going to look for only regulatory actions deemed significant. You can see I'm down to 40 documents, so that's pretty reasonable. And again, I can continue to filter even more specifically environmental protection, air pollution, administrative practice and procedures, and etc. So these are the basics for accessing and searching the Federal Register at FederalRegister.gov and FDsys.